Yeah, so they had this big farm auction back in December 2018. Decided to go down and check it out, see what kind of manly stuff they had for sale. It was a pretty bleak and wet day that day. I'm not a farmer and I'm not an expert in this sort of stuff, but if you're interested, I'll tell you a little bit I know about this. Everything is pretty much set out in groupings of similar type equipment, so people can go and inspect things before the actual auctioneer comes around and puts them on the block. Here we see some snow plows. A lot of farmers and excavators will hire out to the government during the wintertime to plow snow. Looks like some water storage, maybe chemical tanks. These are the big ticket items here, the tractors. They have them sitting out and running so people can inspect them before the auction gets to them. There's quite a few here. I don't know if this is all from this one farmer or if other farmers brought theirs in too. That's not atypical. Also some other equipment like excavators. Around the other side there was a grader and a roller. I think the most expensive tractor down here was just a John Deere. It was articulated, went for over $80,000. Some of the guys got their trailers there, all ready to take their goods home. Looks like a combine harvester. I suspect a lot of people go down there just like I did, just something to do that day. I have no idea what this stuff is. Probably just some old stuff sitting around the barn. These are all sorted hand tools. I would hope they auction these off in lots. If they did them one by one, it's going to take forever to get through that sort of stuff. Another problem with auctions is sometimes people sort of get excited and don't really know what something is worth and end up paying a lot more than what they could have out and bought something new for. I think this is just all the miscellaneous junk that they thought they'd get a few dollars for, kind of piled up in the back here. Probably go in lots. This will be the stuff that goes absolutely last, I imagine. There's that grader, the roller. And here's where the main auction is starting at. They're starting, like I say, with the tractors, the big ticket items, get the big money in first. A lot of Mennonites here. Because there's Mennonites and Amish in this area. A lot of people assume they're all Amish, but I think most of them are Mennonites right around here. Had a Mennonite guy working for me one day, asked him what the difference between Amish and Mennonites was, and he just kind of shook his head and said the only thing he really knows is that the single guys have beers if you're a Mennonite and vice versa if you're Amish or something like that. You can see there's the auctioneer over there, sitting in that little trailer, sitting on the back of a pickup. Typically it's best if you're not bidding on something, just sort of stay back and stay out of the way of the people that do want to put their bids in on it. Yep, pretty much just a lot of this all day, sort of standing around and watching to see what something goes for. So it was pretty muddy that day. If you didn't have a four-wheel drive vehicle, you weren't getting into the parking lot, that's for sure. This is pretty typical what you see with the Mennonites. Every few years somebody gets run over by a car. They're out usually at night. The driver doesn't see them, and it's unfortunate. And these are the, I guess the grain haulers, the dump trucks, whatever. And I'm sort of on my way out here. Some of the horse and buggies. Hey, boy. It's definitely a different way of life, especially in the summertime when it's so hot they don't have air conditioning.